Toronto has become an epicenter of Beijing's transnational repression in Canada. You probably heard about the 6 Shenyun shows that were canceled in Toronto following a bomb threat. Something unprecedented, as Shenyun is used to these kinds of threats, but only in Toronto were this number of shows canceled over them. And on March 14th, the Toronto premiere of a Japanese film that dares to confront Xi Jinping, president of the People's Republic of China, was hit with another classic intimidation campaign, right on a Canadian university campus, the University of Toronto, to be exact, where Innis Town Hall hosted the Toronto premiere. The film is called Love Supreme, Dialogue with Xi Jinping. It follows an animator who is pressured to make propaganda for the regime, and instead he ends up in a raw philosophical battle with fictional Emperor Xi. It confronts the Cultural Revolution, the 1989 Tiananmen Square protests and massacre, Uyghur camps, and Hong Kong's destruction. This, of course, makes it deeply unacceptable to the CCP. 1 week before the screening, a law firm in Texas, of all places, sent a legal threat to the Japanese studio. An anonymous John Doe demanded that they, quote, cease publishing or repeating dehumanizing or hateful statements. He also demanded that they provide written assurance that the screening would not promote hostility. Organizers called it out as a clear intimidation tactic. Then the University of Toronto got involved. Organizers had already hired their own private security for the event, but U of T suddenly raised concerns about possible security threats, citing complaints from students about the film coming to campus. At first, they offered their own special constables, their own security in addition to the private security hired. And then that offer turned into a non-negotiable and a demand with a deadline. $2,200 for 9 guards in a 199-seat theater. The Japanese director was already on a plane from Japan, so faced with the threat of a last-minute cancellation, organizers paid the additional charge. That night, 2 pro-CCP protesters stormed inside the theater, chanting and disrupting the screening, a tactic that has also been used to disrupt Shenyun performances. And just 2 weeks later, all 6 scheduled Shenyun performances in Toronto were canceled after bomb threats and similar pressure tactics. Coincidence? Both events were cultural productions exposing CCP atrocities. Same playbook, same goal. Shut it down. I reached out to the University of Toronto for comment, and their reply heavily emphasized how committed they are to free speech on campus, while just kind of giving me one line at the end, brushing off the $2,200 security demand and calling it usual practice after some members of the university community voiced concerns. But at a press conference before the screening, a reporter from a pro-CCP outlet admitted that international students at U of T were upset and that the issue had sparked heated discussions on WeChat, a Chinese language social media app. So we're seeing the same coordination tactics long used in CCP-linked campaigns. WeChat was also discussed in the documentary Unbroken, The Untold Story of Shenyun, and it seems to always be at the center of these pro-CCP disruptions, these pressure campaigns. WeChat always comes up. So at the Toronto premiere of Unbroken, The Untold Story of Shenyun, I met Mimi Lee. Mimi Lee helped organize the premiere for Love Supreme. She also helped push a petition that helped get Bill C-70, Canada's foreign agent registry law, through Parliament. The bill passed 2 years ago. Ottawa still has done almost nothing to implement it.
The severity of CCP infiltration is very, very bad in Toronto, in Canada in general, and people need to wake up and actually think what we are going to do with that and force the government to do more. As a matter of fact, we have done a petition and that actually passed through as a bill that we're supposed to put in a foreign agent registration and which registry, which we have done nothing. it has been probably 2 years since we passed it. I think that bill was Bill C-70. If you go back and check it, I was the one pushed that petition. And then the MP helped me to push that petition on House of Commons. He pushed it into a motion, and we got the bill passed. But nothing, capitalized, nothing had done ever afterwards.
Canadian universities are folding to backroom CCP-linked pressure instead of defending free expression on our own soil. Canadians need to demand real enforcement of foreign agent laws. Force universities to stop bending the knee. The CCP doesn't stop at China's borders. It's already inside our campuses and our theaters and our politics. If you agree that the CCP has no place on Canadian campuses, in the arts, and particularly our politics, please head to kickthemout.ca to get involved and see what you can do to help. That's kickthemout.ca.